Everyone, how you doing? So in this video lesson we're going to be creating a couple of ornaments. Now these ones here are for those of you that don't have any holiday stencils or Christmassy type of things, but you still want to add a little bit of bling to whether you're creating an ornament for your wreath or for your tree. And so we're going to do these on little miniature canvases, so if you don't have a wreath or a tree, you can put it onto a little tiny little easel. Just how you create the piece is going to be completely up to you. I'm also going to be doing an experiment in this. I just landed on some matte metallic paints, and from what I've been demonstrating, I'm getting a lot of feedback. People love the paints, they want to get them, but there's also some people that just physically can't get the paints from where they are, and shipping is just too expensive. So I'm going to show a way that we could try to get something similar. And so anyways, let's go down to the table. And I just realized I forgot a product. I'm going to turn over. So what we're going to do is pick any stencils you have. The stencil should actually cover your little canvases. Now these little canvases are daily rounding canvases. Pick these up at Walmart. Super cheap. They come in a pack of 3, and they also have the magnet style, so those work well. And the stencils I picked out for this is the Americana Decor stencil from Decor, Succulents and Tropical. How non-Christmas is that? So all I did basically is found a stencil that would fit the canvas. That's all you have to do. So put that one aside, and then this one here is going to be the palm leaf. Okay, like that. All right, put that aside. So I've got the stencils picked out. Then the colors. Well, palm leaf I wanted, this is where you get to choose to add a little bit of bling. So I'm going to use Decor Dazzling Metallics Festive Green for the palm leaf, and then Festive Red for, it's supposed to be the succulent, but I'm going to turn it into a flower. So these. And then the whole thing now is basing what I'm going to base this with. So this is where the experiment's going to come in. So I'm going to do one canvas with the Decor Matte Metallic Charcoal. Then the other one I'm going to use with flat black. It's a carbon black from Decor Media. I'm going to try with some pearlizing medium to give it a bit of a shine, and then I'm going to cover it with matte medium to if it's too shiny. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So first thing we're going to do, as I say with everything, and I used to skip this stuff, I'm not going to skip it anymore. You want to prime your pieces because you don't know how these are being primed. And I got caught a little while ago thinking something was primed really well, and it wasn't. Everything just peeled right off. That's a piece of plant material. Okay, so that one's already done. So just to show you. So just on a dry brush, take a little bit of gesso, and this is the Decor Media white gesso. So just put that on there. And so now my piece is going to be triple primed. Even though it's already primed, I don't know what the manufacturing process is. And I've already been caught with one piece. It was quite a few years ago, a specific brand, where I was working really hard on the canvas, and then all the speckles show through, and it wasn't the brush, wasn't the paint. It was the manufacturing where the plastic that was wrapped around, some of the plastic actually fused onto the canvas and was repelling paint. So now it's just easier priming again. That takes care of that. This one's already done, and I'll put that aside for it to dry. Because the drying time for the experiment, I'm going to have to let it sit. I'm not going to accelerate it with the heat gun because I want it to be a true experiment. So let's do this one first. So I'm going to prime the piece with this flat metallic paint. I'm going to squeeze it right on there. I even love the labeling. Absolutely beautiful. So these are new. Oh, my brush, I think it's a little bit wet. I may have to put a second coat on this. I think my brush was a little bit wet. Now, if you don't want that to be metallic, you could also just do a flat chromatic black. So use, let's say, the alizarin crimson permanent mixed with phthalo green, and that'll make a chromatic black. You can also take ultramarine bloom burnt sienna to make a chromatic black. That way the background will be matte, a matte finish, and then you can put the metallic on top for that contrast, or just put your flat black if you want, and then you can further mattify it with matte medium as well. Yeah, this is going to need 2 coats because the brush was too wet. Note to self, to pay more attention when blotting my brush. Okay, put that aside. So I'm going to put that in water and get this one here. So now I'm going to do this. So I'm going to take the carbon black. Now the pearlizing medium, oh, I didn't open it. Shouldn't be doing this on camera because I always hurt myself. Okay, so this one's a new bottle, so I always make sure I read the directions in case things have changed. Nope, it's good to go. Now it says here you can add it to the paint as well. I'm gonna open it, see. Oh no, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna put about half a part in there. And I'm not going to do the matte medium yet because I want to see what this does first. So pure black, carbon black with a bit of the pearlizing medium. We'll see what it looks like. Because if it's not kind of metallic-y enough, remember this is if you don't have any metallic paint. If it's not metallic-y enough, we can add a bit more pearlizing medium. So what if you don't have anything, you only have black? Then just use black. I love doing these experiments just to see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to have to let that dry. And that should be okay the way it is. I'll add another, and then when it's dry, I'll add another coat to both of those. Then we'll come back and we'll compare the differences. Okay, we're back. You know what I have? I have shiny object syndrome in the studio to the point where the courier came and then we had to stop filming because Mia was and breaks up a box. I always love opening boxes when I get, whether it's from Decor or Amazon, wherever I get my, the order from. And I went a little too fast. And I literally, and I'm not gonna, well, you're going to end up seeing, but I literally ripped the nail off my finger, the whole corner. I couldn't film for days because it was just gross. A Band-Aid wouldn't have covered it up. So I did have Band-Aids, took them all off, and so I'm going to try to, hide it. But while I was in my suffering point of quick shiny object syndrome, what I did another experiment off camera just to show you, because when I was in the beginning where I was talking about using the pearlizing medium to try to get the matte metallic finish in case you can't get that, and which means now you would have to have a pearlizing medium. So I should have said in the beginning that I'm using supplies that I have. I'm not going out and buying anything special to make this stuff. This is already what I have. Other than the matte metallics is a new product that I just had to try. There are some things that you will have to have if you want a certain effect. So if you want a metallic finish, you will have to have metallic paint. In saying that, when I was doing the experiments, I realized that the pearlizing medium is not a metallic. It's like a shimmery, opalescent type of thing. So the finish isn't the same. So what I did is I did some further experiments on watercolor paper, and then I put on my paper. So let's go down to the table. So I brought in some titanium white, and the actual piece. So you can see that this one here, it's black because it's carbon black, and it is a nice finish. Not quite the same. I should do it this way. There's the gray. It's not. The finish is, it's close, but not quite the same because the metallic fills in a lot more of the pores of the canvas. So that's why you don't see as much of the texture. But this is black. So what I did is over here, and let's see. So what I did is for this one, I took equal parts of titanium white, carbon black, and the pearlescent medium in this one. Then I took that mixture, added more of the pearlizing medium. Then in this one, I took this mixture. I added some 1 part matte medium. Then in this one here, I took this and I added 3 parts more matte medium. So just so you can see that the matte medium does bring it down quite a bit. Then what I did is I took, which mixture? I took this mixture, put it on a watercolor card just to see if I could get it. And it's really, hang on a second. No, I took this one here. Number 2, which is equal parts of titanium white, carbon black, and 2 parts of the pearlescent medium. And it's not, even close. So what I did then, I took that mixture. I added one more part. Oh no, this one here. Sorry, I'm trying to read my writing. This one here, what I did is I just took the pearlescent medium and put it on top. I put it on top of the whole piece here. So this is just pearlescent medium on top of that. Really shiny. Too shiny, actually. Then what I did over here, I just added a layer of number 4. I added a layer of this one here. So can't quite get the finish because it's a metallic. So although the experiment, I didn't get the finish I wanted because chemically it's not the same. But I had fun trying because I kind of like that. That's a really cool finish. And I can think of some things that I can do with it. But the pearlescent is quite nice. I myself prefer a metallic, and especially the metallic because it's like a... I don't even know how to explain it. It's like liquid gold or something, or the looking of molten lava, and that's what fills in the texture. I think that's the texture that I like. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, so that's it. So that's what I was doing while I was recovering from the middle finger project. Oh, and I gotta give credit to Ash Amberger. That's her company. I studied under her with some courses, and yeah. So, Ash, this is for you. All right, so let's get back to business. See what happens when I'm off for a few days? So I'm going to move this because it's too shiny. Yeah, as getting closer to the holidays, I'm getting quite distracted. All right, so let's do this, and let's do this. So again, going back to the original idea, this is making yourself a little ornament if you don't have any holiday ornaments. We're going to take a random stencil and just use a metallic paint. You can use whatever you want. The other thing you can do if you have really shiny acrylics and you don't like that heavy shine, you can put a coat of decoupage medium, and this is the matte finish. There's so many different things. Just experiment. Always read the label, but when experimenting, unless it's all, there's chemistry involved where you don't put acrylics over oils, but there's things involved where I mix products together that really aren't intended to be mixed just to see what happens. So if you're going to do that, don't give those away as gifts unless the person realizes it's an experiment, because you don't want to give somebody something really nice or sell an ornament based on an experiment and it falls apart. Yeah, you don't want that. Alrighty, so I'm going to, let me see, how am I going to do this one? Let's take, do I want to do it with a brush? I want to use the metallic, but I'm not, the doming brushes that I use, they're too round, and the metallics just end up pooling underneath, but I still have to be careful because it is thick. Palette knife would work out well, but not with this particular paint. It would work out well with the point right. Everything's backwards right there. Those the thick texture ones, which I'm going to try next. Okay, so let's do the green on this one. I can get that. There we go. Right about there. And can you hear that? Listen. Mia's not here. She's at her last weekend visit. That's how long it's been since filming the last time at the kennel, to get her used to being there for the week while we're gone. So when we're in the Bahamas, I'm going to be hitting up the marketplace where all the artists are displayed. I can't wait. Usually people travel, they come back with souvenirs for other people. I'm coming back with supplies for the studio, and supplies being shells and fabric and stuff like that. Wow, look at that. Oh, Oh, I had a little bit of paint to go through there. Now, if that happens, you can take some of the paint that you used to do this and just draw a line to cover that up, which is what I should wait and do. Let's see if I can take. No. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait. Okay, that's fine. What's that from anyways? It's because they're so thin. That's why. They're super duper thin. Put that over there. And now if we were to take the green into the red, what's going to happen? These are opposite on the color wheel. You're going to get a metallic chromatic black, which could be really, really pretty. I'm going to take a fresh brush. And I'm going to take the succulent, which I'm turning into a flower. This is where I need the this is really super slippery. Holy cow, Batman. This is really slippery. I want to offset it a little bit. All right, let's try there. Yeah, this is super slippery. Wow. Okay, that's going to be a challenge. The stencil's a little bit big. So now I know with the other one that the line's being super thin. I'm just going to have to be a little bit more careful. Put the light finish over these parts here. I'm going to go a little bit heavier over here. Some metallics have more of a transparent finish to it. One other thing that you can do is do this with regular paint and then hand paint over with a metallic finish or a gloss finish. I'm just trying to come up with a bunch of different ideas for you guys. If you do this too, if you leave it there, sprinkle some glitter or some micro beads or sprinkle something and you can get yourself another finish. Not as intense. Still pretty, but not as intense. So if I had to do this again, I would do the initial stencil with a opaque red, maybe like a cad red hue or cad red light to base it, or even base it with, well, base it with white. This is going to be much lighter because it's, I think, more of a translucent finish. But use an opaque paint, and what you're trying to do is cover up the black or this charcoal color, and then stencil on top. And so I just clean that up a bit. No, I don't have any hand. I was going to get one of my cotton swabs. Just pick up a bit of the excess. There we go. But yeah, this could be painted over again, but it's not as intense. I like the intensity of that one. I love that one. So you can, I gave you a whole bunch of ideas of what you can try. So when you're doing pieces, like if you don't have special, holiday stencils and stuff like that, use whatever you have, and then just change it up. Use color to boost it up, because I know some of you don't have, a lot of you're probably painters, and you want to get into a little bit of mixed media, but you don't have a lot of supplies. You don't need to go out and buy stuff. Just use what you have, and it's just a matter of just ideas on putting the stuff together. So there's a few other things that I'm going to be trying that are outside my comfort zone, but I'm going to give it a try and see what I come up with. And those are the ones that are kind of fun, because when you make mistakes and stuff like that, that's how you learn. So there we go. Let me get a nice clean piece of paper to display that on, because that background is very distracting. There we go. But yeah, this one here, you're not getting much color out of that. And let's see if I could take a brush and just come back and see, but look at the difference. Look at the difference. So just come in and follow the stencil. Wait for that layer to be dry, of course. And then just paint that in. you know will be is trying that the texture. Oh, I already know the texture metallic works. I don't even know if I have this color. There we go. See the difference? So that's something that you can do. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave you with that. So these type of little ornaments can be used again. I mean, you can still use these all year round, but so if you don't have a lot of the mixed media stuff, just do a simple little stencil. And this is, although this is canvas, you can do it on cardboard. You know, so you don't have to go out and buy little canvases. Do it on cardboard. Stencil, these are easy enough to make. You can just go to Pinterest or Graphics Fairy or just Google whatever subject silhouette, and then you can just print it off and just cut it out with, you know, an X-Acto knife. There's a bunch of different ways that you can create your own little stencils. But if you find something you really like, you may want to pick it up because that way you can use it throughout a bunch of different projects. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave you with that. And with this as well, if you're going to be putting it in a high humidity area, you can varnish it either with an outdoor decoupage medium or with a like a polyurethane varnish, like a Duraclear, and just to give it extra protection. All right, so I would love to see what you create based on this idea. Again, there's no excuse to say you don't have the supplies, because basically we already know you can make your stencil, you can use whatever paint you have, and use whatever substrate you have. So substrate, canvas, wood, whatever, paint, metallic, acrylic, whatever, and then stencil, whether you make your own, even if you just cut out a star or whatever, or even a circle and stencil that, just to see what you come up with. So I want to see your version, as well as people are posting their versions. If there's something unique about what you did with yours, make sure you type in the description what you did, and that way we can try doing the same thing. We create our own version based on your idea. Alrighty, so looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Until then, stay inspired.